Vikings training camp continuing today. No access tomorrow as it is the day before that preseason opener.
Yeah, a lot of secrecy things going on. They don't want us to see. A lot of people, of course, looking forward to their first glimpse of J.J. McCarthy in that kind of an environment. Don Mitchell joining us now. So, Don, with Saturday's game approaching, it sounds like there's some position battles that are kind of going down too, right?
You know, there are a lot of position battles. You mentioned J.J. McCarthy. Well, we know he's going to be the starter, but who's going to be the backup behind him, right? So we'll get a glimpse at who will come in first and get some action there. But when it comes to a big group of position battles, there's 3 and 1 when it comes to special teams. Now, we haven't spoken a lot about special teams yet, but there's a lot going on. First of all, the big battle between Ryan Wright and Oscar Chapman for the punter position. So that is a battle. You might remember that Oscar Chapman, if that doesn't sound familiar to you, he is the Australian punter that is here. So he's giving Ryan Wright a run for his money. But then when you go to punt returner and kick returner, there's a group of guys that are battling for that. Of course, Rondale Moore, a lot of people know that name. He's coming back from a very, very serious injury, but he looks fired up. He had that dislocated knee, and if you remember, that's kind of what Teddy Bridgewater also had. So there are a lot of issues going on with that, but he seems to be doing well. But there's also young guys, Ty Felton, that I think Matt Daniels, the special teams coordinator, is very high on. There's also a couple of guys, Miles Price, Silas Bolden. Those are wide receivers. We're also trying to get some time at wide receiver with Jets out and maybe also Jordan Addison in the first few weeks. But when it comes to that kick returner, punt returner, punter, there's a lot of battles going on there.
Now, Don, a very recognizable face was seen off of the field at training camp. Senator Amy Klobuchar was at practice earlier this week, kind of looking like the Capitol out there. Who else made a visit there today?
Well, today Governor Walz went, and he said, you know, first and foremost, the Vikings are so valuable to the state of Minnesota. He said whenever they've asked for help, whether it's helping downtown, rebuild downtown, anything for the state, the Vikings always step up. They're also a huge employer. But then he smiled, because we all know he's a former football coach, and he said, and sometimes I just like to come out here. He looked like a little kid when he said that. So Governor Walz there, he also let the cat out of the bag that he will be going to Dublin as well. So I just think, you know, yes, they go there in the official capacity, but I think that especially the governor, Amy Klobuchar, looked like she was having a blast too, but the governor really having a fun time out there. And you know what, I think it's great for the players too, especially the new ones coming to Minnesota to get to know who their state representatives are, who their governor is, all of that. So always great to see. You know, you go any day out there and there's a who's who on the sidelines. We don't always tell you everybody that has been out there, but former Viking Anthony Harris has been out there already, and then you see Amy Klobuchar, today Governor Tim Walz. So we keep our head on a swivel out there to see who's going to pop up today. And sometimes you're like, I know that face. Who is that?
Yeah,
you have to ask someone.
Yeah, don't necessarily associate them with a football field. So, all right, Don, thanks so much. We're looking forward to Saturday. It's going to be great.
All right. Yeah, it'll be fun. Get ready.
Yep, get ready. And you can watch Saturday's game against the Texans. It'll be right here on Fox 9. Vikings game day starting at 2 o'clock and then kickoff at 3. Of course, stick around for more coverage after the game. It's the Vikings post-game show.
And if we thought